Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as by the title, as you can see, we are actually going to be discussing the main reasons as to why we gave up everything we worked our lives for in South Africa and decided to become refugees and start completely over in a foreign country, aka America. And I'd just like to introduce you to my husband. This is Francois, and the two of us have been through hell and back in our 13-year marriage to get to where we are right now. And I know that God has blessed us and brought us on this path to get us here. And if you hear our story, you'll get an idea why. So I am Hayley, as you know from my videos, and I am a colored South African. I know that word isn't like a very friendly word in America, but colored is a very real race in South Africa and one of the minority races in South Africa. And yes, I'm married to an Afrikaner male, being Francois, my husband, and us both being minorities in South Africa has led to some pretty deep challenges when it comes to trying to build a family, build wealth, build success, and grow in a country that has constantly had doors blocked on us. So when it comes to my background, I went to school, I matriculated, and at the time I hit my first year at university, that's when the dispensation in South Africa changed, and Mandela became the official president of South Africa. And being very proactive South African loving citizen, I was all for it, and I was so excited that there was a new dispensation in the country, just purely because I grew up in apartheid South Africa, as did my husband, and we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly of living in an apartheid country, as well as the good, the bad, and the ugly that came with living in a democratic country, which we thought was going to benefit us all as a rainbow nation in South Africa, because that's what we were deemed. So after I finished school, I went to university, and at university, as I said, I did the basic Bachelor of Arts, Humanities degree, and I, after university, went into corporate. And when I was in corporate, I thought that I would grow successfully and become a boss lady and a top level career woman, really because of the fact that South Africa was now more accommodating to hiring people of my skin color, as well as the fact that there was now an affirmative action program in South Africa, what is similarly referred to as DEI in America. So with affirmative action, it really came down to if you had a white person and a person of color that was applying for the same job, the person of color would probably get it, because it was about righting the wrongs of the past. You know, that the previous dispensation had afforded to the rest of the population, and by righting those wrongs, it was about elevating those who previously were disadvantaged. However, as a colored South African, I might have grown through the ranks at a pretty okay pace, but then I started hitting a glass ceiling every time I got to a certain level of middle management, and I just couldn't get further than that. And by hitting that glass ceiling, I realized that, this isn't the place for me, and I might as well use my education and my smarts and my ambition and my energy. And I went into my own business, and I started my own training and development company, and I actually was quite successful at it and enjoyed it a lot. And by starting that training and development business, I got to a point where I managed to travel into Africa and dispense training, from Microsoft training to leadership training to communication, all of the goodies that a trainer does. And that helped me get to a point on a remote mine in northern Mozambique where I met Francois. But before I continue, I'm going to let Francois tell you a little bit about his background from schooling, matriculating, how he had to go through qualifying as a paramedic, and what brought him to Mozambique, and how we ended up on a mine in northern Mozambique together. Francois, do you want to talk a little bit to everybody about you?
So yeah, I grew up in a lower income household in a suburb in Johannesburg called Witpoortjie.
Poor.
Born in the Free State, but I grew up in Joburg. Very poor upbringing.
Yeah.
Finished school, primary school, high school. Wasn't allowed to go to university because of my skin color. I was told that there's no spots for me. I applied to the military, to the police, and at that stage, and I was told blatantly that, sorry, you're a white guy, we will never take you. I did what any man would do. I grabbed the first job to start my life. I worked in cash and transit, where I was shot multiple times. I was stabbed multiple times. I had a major car accident where I broke my neck and back. And I did that for a while, and then I realized that this job was going to kill me. So I privately started studying in emergency services. I worked for Neki 911 in South Africa, and I worked up from basic ambulance, intermediate life support, and then I went to the fire department. With the fire department being ANC run, I was a bit naughty. I didn't fill in on the application forms my race, and with them not checking the paperwork, I got in. But since day one, I was uphill. They wanted me out. They didn't want me to work there. But I didn't bother much with that because I was young and I was vibrant and I wanted to work. So I put myself through school. I became an advanced life support paramedic, critical care assistant. And I also did my fire qualifications and rescue qualifications without the help of anyone. The fire department refused to help me pay for it. I paid for it out of my own pocket. And then at a point in 2009, it got too much. I couldn't take it anymore. The racism, the not allowing me to practice with my qualifications, the not paying me the salary I'm supposed to get. And I decided contract work because remote site contract work, I could be a paramedic and a firefighter, rescue technician at the same time, and I could get paid for what I was doing, and I get
and in dollars.
Yeah, and I got a validation for what I studied for.
Yeah.
And I did that for many years. We got married.
While we met each other in Mozambique.
We went to Mozambique, and on a remote site, I was a remote site paramedic for the clinic. And love at first sight. And yeah, we that's where our story basically together started.
Yeah.
And my wife knew that I was doing contract work, so it made it easier.
Yeah.
But at a point when our children was getting born, and I went back to the fire department and I said to them, guys.
Well, even before that, baby. So while he was in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Sierra Leone.
Because after Mozambique, he went to Sierra Leone.
Yes.
And that's where he worked on a contract for, what was it, 2-3 years?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years. Yeah.
6 years in Sierra Leone. And the 6 years in Sierra Leone was good because the dollars were good, the benefits were good, it was great until we were hit with the Ebola crisis.
Ebola virus, yes.
Yeah, the Ebola crisis, and that put Francois completely out of work.
Yeah.
And it was coupled with the fact that I just found out I was pregnant with our second child. We then ended up sort of homeless for a bit, for 9 months. Full 9 months of a pregnancy, we were homeless. We had to live with his mom because nobody would employ him.
Yeah, because of the Ebola outbreak, they were scared that I could carry the disease.
Yes, so the Ebola outbreak made him sort of persona non grata with being able to get employed again. And as soon as our son was born, you got a job in Zambia.
Before that, I went back to the fire department.
Oh yes, that's right.
I went back to the fire department and I asked them. I went to speak to the fire chief and the deputy fire chief, and I said to them, "Listen, I don't care about divisional chief rank. I don't care about anything. I just need a job in South Africa where I can support my family and have medical aid." And the fire chief and the deputy fire chief started laughing at me in the office, and they said to me, "You're a white man. You will never work for us again. It's better that you stayed outside of the country
Yeah.
and work there."
Exactly. And as by the grace of God would have it, 4 weeks after our son was born, we got a call from a company from ER24 African Division, who employed him and got him into a job in Zambia, where you stayed for 2 years.
Yeah.
And after that, after the 2 years, we got the job of our dreams, which was a job in Iraq.
Iraq, yes.
And the job in Iraq, Francois was there for 5.5 years.
Yes.
And the 5.5 years of the Iraq job helped us grow. And the previous few years made us aware that nobody would help us.
Yeah.
Even if we were ever homeless or on our back foot again, we were on our own. And the Iraq job made us focus on the important things of security. We bought our farm,
Yeah.
we paid it off cash within 10 months.
Yes.
Proud of that.
Exactly.
We then invested in a business and bought a franchise.
Franchises.
You know, a popular food franchise in South Africa called King Pie. And we were quite happy having this sort of a bubble of security, which we thought was going to benefit us greatly. We then, the Iraq contract was then ended.
Yes.
And 2 years ago, that was 2 years ago, and then you got the position.
Two and a half
Then
years, 2.5
with
years.
almost instantly, Francois was employed in West Africa, Guinea,
yeah.
where he was up until 2 days before we flew to America.
Yes.
So we pumped it. Everything we did went back into our lives, went back into our property, went back into our children's future. And we really thought we were going to have it. Okay, we were going to be made. Until we realized that being business owners and being in the system really dealt us a blow of systemic racism because of,
Yeah.
you know, so by buying the farm, owning a franchise, trying to educate and build our lives with our children, we then realized that we're always going to be excluded from the system. Little things. We tried to buy a business vehicle for the business.
Banks refused to give us
The banks refused to give us financing for a second-hand vehicle. They said we were not viable options for financing, even though we were technically millionaires on paper.
Multi-millionaires.
Yeah, rand millionaires. From our assets to what we had saved, we were solid. We didn't need anyone.
Yeah.
But the bank told us, sorry, we're not financing you.
Yeah.
Then we were hit with the ANC government, and
before that was the VAT.
When we registered the business,
South African Revenue Service refused for 3 years of the business to give us a tax number, a business tax number. VAT registration, yes.
Yes, VAT being value-added tax. They don't have that in other parts of the world, but value-added tax, because they don't work on general sales tax in South Africa. They work on value-added tax, VAT. So without that VAT number, you can't do your tax, you can't claim tax. So for the 2.5 years of owning this business, we could do no taxes on the business.
Yes.
Thank goodness Francois had a brilliant accountant who handled all of that, and the accountant said to you.
Yes.
What did the accountant say? Charles said to you?
The lawyer and the accountant actually said to me,
They tried.
They're not going to give it to you because of your surname. Because your surname is Prinsloo. It's an Afrikaner surname in South Africa. That's why our main company that the franchise was registered under, we had to give it a black name.
Yeah, we gave it a black name so that we could try and bypass the systemic racism we were getting from trying to build and grow.
Yes.
At this point, Francois was already getting frustrated.
Yeah, of course.
And he was like, baby, I'm sick of this country. We need to leave. And I was like, you must be goddamn crazy. I ain't leaving. I'm not going to be a migrant or a lesser citizen in another country. I have worked and built myself too hard in the country of my birth. I'm educated. I am a business owner. And I said to him, I ain't going to a foreign country to go and clean toilets. I can't see myself do that. I would rather deal with the shit here in South Africa, pardon my French. And I was adamant we staying
Yes.
until
Yeah.
February of 2025.
Yes. September 2024.
Oh, yes, it was.
September 2024.
Yes, it was September 2024.
When we were assaulted, yes.
I still get PTSD from that. Yeah, we were in our farming community where we live, and we went to the little farm shop, which is like a couple of kilometers from our homestead. And it was Saturday afternoon, so all the farm workers from the area all gather at the shop and sit and drink it up and get drunk and boisterous. And as my husband went into the one shop, I went into the other shop, because there's separate little shops, one where you can buy animal food and gas, the other one where you can buy sugar and what have you, cigarettes, etc. And as Francois came out of the other shop, he saw a bunch of guys that were busy harassing me and screaming a whole lot of obscenities at me, purely because we were the only mixed race couple in the entire farming community, literally the only mixed race couple. And I'm always the only colored. Everywhere I go, I was the only colored at lots of events at university,
Yes.
at work, in my family structure. And, you know, when Francois saw that, he had knee-jerk reaction and he approached the guys and he was like, hey, what the hell are you saying to my wife? And while I was trying to stand by Francois while he was confronting them, I just saw from the back 10 or 12 guys approaching, and bottles and poles, and they attacked my husband in front of me and my children. And shoot, that gave me anxiety. Yeah, they attacked him, and thank God he's so strong, because if it was a lesser man, he would have been killed that day. And after the attack and the bottles, they damaged our car.
Yes.
Oh God, it was such a horrible.
Yeah.
That was a horrible day. We went to the police station to try and lay a charge, and the police looked at us and they were like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. But a day later, they let us know there's nothing they could do, because apparently Francois used the K word when the attack happened. Of course you didn't.
I don't use
it's married to me.
vulgar language like
You
that.
know, in dude, I'm the racist in this family. Not you. No, really, no. But jokes aside, when the police looked at him dead in his eye and said there's nothing they're going to do, because they came to our farm.
They tore the docket up.
Yeah, they tore the docket up and they said there's nothing they can do. And then they went and fetched the attacker,
Yeah.
the charge of the attack. And Francois had to apologize to him.
Yeah, for calling him the K word, which I didn't.
Francois had to apologize to him.
Yeah.
When we also, after the attack, tried to go to the local hospital in Tabazimbi, which is
government hospital,
in the town in Limpopo that we lived in. Those nurses and doctors looked at him straight and said, nah, you the antagonist, we're not going to help you. We're not giving you a J88 form.
Yeah.
You're not taking this further, go home.
Not going to put bandages or anything
Yeah.
on my bleeding.
And we came home, and as we were driving home from the hospital in Tabazimbi, Francois, I've never seen you that angry. I've never seen you that angry. And he looked at me and he said, baby, we've got to get out of this fucking country.
Yeah, we have to. There's no getting
if we
out.
can't even depend on the police,
To help
how
us.
can I depend on the police to help you and my children when I'm sitting in Iraq
Exactly.
or in Guinea?
In Guinea.
Because at that point you're already in Guinea.
Guinea.
And after what I'd witnessed and the anxiety and the issues it rose, I had such a lot of emotional issues after that. I looked at Francois and I said, I don't care where it is we're going. I'll follow you. I don't care if we have to move to Antarctica. I'll follow you there. I don't care where we have to go.
And then the local municipality started their shit with the business.
That was even later because
after
we first.
Yeah.
So Francois, being Francois, immediately started doing research to check where we could, which was immigration friendly country for South Africa. I already told him, God, I'm not going to New Zealand, I'm not going to South Europe, I'm not going anywhere, not going to Australia. And he started looking at first the US, and then when we saw how expensive it would be to immigrate to the US and try and get a green card, let alone a gold card. Yes. You have to sell your soul for that one.
Yeah.
We looked at the next nearest one, which would have been Mauritius.
Mauritius, yes.
We then went through the whole we started a 3-month process to try and immigrate to Mauritius. We did interviews with legal immigration lawyers that were familiar with the immigration process.
We'll do everything for
Mauritius.
us, yeah.
And in all honesty, we felt so unsafe in South Africa at that point that I was even prepared to move to a predominantly Muslim country and start over there.
Exactly.
Because at least Mauritius, with our income and our assets and what we had, we could afford to move there.
Yeah.
But at this point, my anxiety, I started having panic attacks. I couldn't sleep.
Yes.
I couldn't eat. I started becoming agoraphobic when Francois left to go to work
Abroad, yeah.
in West Africa. When I got back from the airport after dropping him, I would lock myself on that farm and I wouldn't leave. I would not leave. Some days I laid for 2, 3, 4 days on an end, just curled up in a state of panic where the only energy I had was to get up, give my kids some food, sort them out. I think I went a period of almost 6 months after the attack where I couldn't even do any homeschooling with them.
Exactly.
Because I was a nervous wreck. I couldn't believe panic attacks were real until that moment.
Yeah.
And then, by the grace of God, at the beginning of last year, about March, April, I don't know when President Trump did
it. It was April.
My sister gave me a call from Ireland, and I'll never forget that day. I was having a bit of a panic attack day, and she was like, "Girl, did you see your president?" Because everyone knows I'm a Trump fan. I've been a Trump fan since he came down that escalator. My husband knows.
Yeah.
That's the other man in our marriage after Jesus is President Trump. I love that, and Kendrick Lamar. I love President Trump. I love him. I love him. I love him so much. I love him because he's real. I love him because he speaks truth to power, and I don't care what anyone says, and you can give me shit for this. I love President Trump. No one in my family cared about him. You know, my husband knows I'm the Trump fan in this marriage. I'm a Trump girl. And when my sister told me that President Trump has opened up a program for South African minorities to do the refugee program and come to America, I phoned my husband in tears that day. And I was like, baby, please take me to America. We're going to America. And when Francois saw that it was real, and he let me know, baby, the program is real, I was like, I will go and I'll give up everything in South Africa. Everything. I don't care if I have to go live in a tent. I don't care if I have to go and live wherever. I am going to America. I've always been an American fan. I'm an American lover. I've been an American fan since I was 10 years old, and I saw the Cosby Show on TV the first time, and I saw Whitney Houston on TV the first time, and I thought, I need to go to America. And you always promised me you're going to bring me to America on a holiday, hey? Nah, you said you're going to lose me in America.
Exactly.
And Francois immediately started the process.
Yeah, we did the statement of interest in April as well.
Yeah.
And then nothing happened. And
because there was a delay or something.
There was a delay, yes. And that was, we just fell short of the 59ers.
The first group.
Yeah, first group.
Yeah.
And then there was that whole period of everything happening. And then when they opened the application forms, I think in August.
Yes.
We applied.
And the process started.
The process started.
And it was a 7.5 month, 8 month
No,
process.
8 months.
Eight month
Over 8
process
months, yeah.
from October last year.
Yeah.
When we went for our first, we got our first phone call. And then we did our online interview. From the online interview, we had to go to, God, I get so emotional when I think of how much we've been through in the last 7 months.
Exactly, yes.
We had to go to Johannesburg many times for medicals and police clearances, and then for the actual interview at the US Embassy. And I was in tears the whole day at the US Embassy, just looking at that American flag waving, because I knew this is going to be real. And after that, we had another couple of processes, and then we heard that our process is basically successful at the beginning of this year. And we just started then waiting for the procedure to finalize. We had to do 2 more orientations online. Francois couldn't attend those because he was sitting in West Africa in the middle of the jungle. So I did those alone. And then it was so amazing because I think it was on the 29th of May, you contacted me and said to me, our plane tickets have been...
No, it was on the 30th.
Yeah, 30th of May. Francois told me, baby, are you ready to go to America? Because our plane tickets are ready. They've booked our flights, and our flights were booked for June 8th. That gave us 2 weeks, not even, just about
a week and a half.
About a week and a half. And Francois couldn't be there with me because he was sitting in the jungle. And in that week and a half, I packed up, sold, and got everything ready from the farm. I sold our cars, I sold our furniture, I did it all alone, you know. And the excitement of knowing I'm going to America gave me the drive, and I can swear to God I didn't have one day of anxiety knowing that
we're gonna be
it's
safe.
real, our dream is real, you know. And when Francois landed on the 6th of June and we flew out of America flew out to America on Monday the 8th of June. So my poor man didn't even have time to say goodbye to the farm properly because he landed. We did our final little backup, as you saw in the previous video when we drove off the farm, and I was such a snotting mess like I am right now. And we got on that plane, and as much as I cried in that video, I was crying because I was saying goodbye, because I'm an emotional person. But all I want to say is, and this is what we want to say, is that thank you to President Trump. I love that man. And the day I can meet him, it will be a dream come true because he saved our lives. When we landed here in Lincoln on the 9th of June, we have had nothing but love and support. And what a beautiful country America is. And we know we're going to make the best of it for our kids. We're going to make the best of it for our kids, and not only for our kids. Francois and I have started over so many times. Start over, lose everything, start over, lose everything, start over. But this is the time we know we're starting over for the last time. Because everything we build from here on out is secure, it's safe, and we can retire with peace of mind in America. I'm so proud that the Homeland Security did such a brilliant job of placing South Africans in the perfect environment where they would prosper and do well.
And UNCIS as well, they all...
working with Homeland. And US, what's it, US? UNIL.
UNSCIS. UNCIS.
You know, and because they know we came from a really rural place in South Africa, placing us here in Lincoln, Nebraska, in the state of Nebraska. Nebraska is so agricultural, rich, strong, farming focused that I am happy here, and I'm never leaving. I will never leave. I won't even leave if they gave me a house for free in New York. I love Lincoln. Lincoln is beautiful. Lincoln is family strong. Lincoln is safe. We can walk here. We can, you know, we're having so much fun. It feels like we're on this holiday right now.
Exactly.
And all Francois and I want to do is just get started working.
Yeah.
We want to work. I want to be a taxpayer. I want to buy a house or farm.
Yeah, farm. Buy farm.
And yeah, you know, and I'm so proud. I think I'm the only colored South African in Lincoln, baby, and I'm proud. I love it
sure
here.
you are, yeah.
I love it here. I love Lincoln. I love Nebraska. I love America.
Yeah.
And damn, I love President Trump. You know?
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, thank you, America, nah?
Yeah, thank you, America. Thank
Yeah.
you, Trump.
Thank you, Trump.
Yeah, Trump,
President Trump.
President Trump, yes.
And that's our story.
Yes.
That's our story.
Yes.
Last start over.
Yes, last start over.
Thanks
In
for
the greatest
watching.
country in the world.
Greatest country in the world.
Yes.
So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to our diatribe of our ups, our downs, our back end, our forward end, and knowing that we are gonna be good, proud Americans. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.